Lee Isaac Chung followed up Minari with what film? A sequel to Twister? Yeah, right, mate. Come on. Seriously. What film? Twisters? So is it safe to say that this is his Eternals? A big budget film which falls flat because an indie filmmaker doesn't have popcorn chops? As it turns out, kinda, sorta, yeah. I've read it's doing well at the box office, but creatively speaking, it is like all terrible sequels. A hollow recreation using elements from the original, yet failing to possess its own lightning in a bottle soul. A good sequel, for those who are wondering, should be an expansion on the original, which is bigger and bolder, much like The Godfather Part 2 or the more recent Top Gun Maverick. Twisters doesn't add anything to its original IP. Instead, it simply redoes everything we've seen with a new cast and far less style. So, does our lead female character have a traumatic story which motivates them to risk everything to help stop tornadoes? Yep. Is there a crew of rowdy tornado chasers who banter while battling the elements? Yep. Is there a romance between our leads who start off antagonistic but grow to love and respect one another? Yep. I could go on, but you should be able to get the picture. If you've seen Twister, then it's hard to believe you'd come away enjoying Twisters more. It's dumb, and it's a Frankenstein's monster made up of parts of the original audiences are expected to enjoy. Except, unfortunately, it isn't as fun or exciting. And dumb fun is better than dumb and boring. The characters aren't as engaging except for Glenn Powell, who I'm pretty sure got some plastic surgery to give himself a more pronounced jaw. And his tornado chasing crew don't have anyone as electrifying as Philip Seymour Hoffman to give them flavor.
No. Yeah, and Aunt May wouldn't want a pit stop, right?
No.
Red meat, we crave sustenance.
Guys, we are not invading my aunt.
Food.
Instead, they're a forgettable cast of generic characters. Now, to be fair, who can compete with one of the best to ever do it? I'll admit that's true. Nevertheless, the film is also devoid of the bombast of the original. Need I cut away to the cow scene? There's a nod to this with some chickens, but it doesn't land as well because Chung and the writers refuse to swing for the fences, almost like they're ashamed of the movie they're making at times. Most egregiously, the film doesn't focus on the tornado wranglers led by the charismatic Glenn Powell, and instead has this whole long-winded corporate BS subplot where our heroes discover their financiers are evil and must stay true to their convictions under pressure.
Tell them to fuck off.
All of this adds to the runtime and was completely unnecessary. The original simply made the suits generic rivals from the get-go and gave all our attention to the fun, rough types. It's so simple. The sequel makes things needlessly complicated by having two of our three heroes work for the baddies before realizing the error of their ways. Direction-wise, it goes without saying that this is a series of shot, reverse shot singles which can act as a great sleeping aid if you're an insomniac. Move the camera. Move the actors. Come on, man, give me something. When the camera does move, it's typically to arc around multiple characters who are talking together. But again, they simply stand still rather than engaging with one another or their environment. So there's zero blocking or staging. Just a very boring stand and deliver. Furthermore, the film cuts and cuts and cuts some more, like the creative team have ADHD, and so you rarely get the chance to see what is happening before we've jumped to something else, instead of shooting wider and for longer takes. There is an exception to this during one type of scene which is repeated throughout the film. Characters take shelter in one way or another and a tornado rushes over them before dissipating. Here, Chung will hold the camera still and let the emotion and the chaos play out for a little bit, and it works. So credit where it's due, those moments were good. Daisy Edgar Jones is a solid actor, but she doesn't appear to have the chops to take this script and make it sparkle. Instead, a generic story is given a generic performance without anything unique in the characterization. Helen Hunt at least had a voice you don't hear every day. Glenn Powell is a movie star and brings all the charm he sold his soul for to the forefront to ensure you keep thinking to yourself, damn, what a man, how likable. Am I grinning from ear to ear every time he's on screen? You betcha. Charisma is all these types of movies truly need, and Powell seems tailor-made for popcorn stardom as an actor. Now a genuine strength which gives the film something unique to its name, are the beautiful images of tornadoes forming. They were evocative, and I could have watched that happen for half the film without complaint. Another strength which I imagine belongs to the writing team occurs in the second act when an exposition dump is made by Kate and Tyler, our two leads, and we cross-cut between them to illustrate a growing bond and equal ability. It's remedial in that this is a common writing tactic, but it was delivered with competence, and so again, credit where it's due. That works. Ultimately, I think Twisters is the type of film you could watch while scrolling on Twitter, and probably should have been a Netflix turd because it's just like every other sequel you've ever seen. There's nothing to surprise here as the film follows well-tread beats and is stacked with a mostly forgettable cast. I found it boring, soulless, and cannot understand why anyone thought Twister, of all IPs, was right to create a sequel out of. Give it a miss or go ahead and watch for Glenn Powell. That'll be the primary motivation in my opinion. Thanks for watching.
You got quite the reputation, city girl. You think you can disrupt a tornado?
In theory.